Next thing I want you to think about before the strategic planning session takes place is who are we? You need to identify the following. What's your organizational imperative, your reason for existence, and what are your organizational principles, those things that you'll never compromise on, those values that are foremost and paramount for your organization. Let's talk about some examples. So for the organizational imperative, this is your why. This is the Simon Sinek version of your sense of purpose. And your team should be behind this and excited about your organizational imperative because it defines why they show up and come to work every day and what you're trying to accomplish. So when we work with Nike, they say, our organizational imperative is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete. And they literally mean it. They want to bring out the athlete in everyone. And everything they do should be geared toward that organizational imperative. That's the filter by which all of their team members execute on a day-to-day basis. Our organizational imperative at Afterburner is to relentlessly seek to accelerate individual, team, and organizational performance through flawless execution and the inspiration and experience of elite military professionals. I'll tell you how important this is to us. We repeat it at every single meeting that we have. We kick off every meeting by having somebody in the crowd recite the organizational imperative. And it's not a test. We want to make sure that the team is embracing this and they're living this and they care about this. And if they don't like it, let's have a conversation about it and figure out what needs to change so that you can embrace it. Your team should all have a collective sense of why in the form of their organizational imperative. Think about that before your strategic planning session kicks off. Next thing you can do before the strategic planning session is identify your organizational principles. This is what you will always do or what you will never compromise on. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, my number one organizational principle is going to be we will act with integrity and we will not lie, cheat, or steal. And, you know, that's a good one, but remember, that's the minimum threshold. That's the payment to start playing in the organization. I would recommend that instead of having those integrity-based ones that everybody should have anyway, think about what values differentiate you from the rest of the market. Why would you hire somebody at your organization based on their attributes and not at another organization? So let's talk about some examples for that. We did organizational principle planning with a tech company a few weeks ago, and they said one of the most important values we have is coaching and serving. And this was for a functional group that was really a support asset for the rest of this company. And their point was, we're here to serve. We have to make sure that we're capable of serving, and that's our primary responsibility. But we also got to be able to coach. I can't just be in the background. I have to be able to give some answers and help share my perspective on the holistic solution that we're providing. So give guidance while at the same time be ready to serve those team members. Next one, this group said, we want to have customers first, but value always. And I challenged them on that and said, what does that really mean? And they said, well, we always need to put our customers first. We need to make sure that the customers come first, and that's the group that we're prioritizing. But if they're requesting something that we don't think adds value for them right now, then we need to challenge them on that as well. In other words, we always have to be providing value for the market. So the customer does come first, but it's paramount that we're providing value to them in every transaction. This is one from Afterburner. Our team members must be master instructors and lifetime learners. Master instructors because we've got to conduct webinars like this and share information that's complex and complicated in a simple way and be able to communicate how to accomplish things. But then you also have to be lifetime learners. We don't just want the people who are good at explaining and teaching. I want somebody who's going to go out there and read the next Porter book and learn about strategy in a greater way, and go read the next Harvard Business Review periodical so that they're staying up to date on the most current information. Master instructors, but also lifetime learners. And here's how we apply this in practice. Every single meeting we have, we discuss who's shown an example of being either a master instructor this week or a lifetime learner. We did it this morning when we had a meeting. We do that every time because we want to reinforce those values within the organization. And we'll hire to those as well. So when a new team member wants to join, we'll make sure that they're both master instructors and lifetime learners as we assess their capability to be a productive member of our team. That's how I recommend you incorporate your principles as well. So think about those principles from that standpoint as you create them before the strategic planning session.